Hello and welcome to the DeWarioFreak Abridged Podcast. I'm your host, DeWarioFreak Anthony, and today I'm joined by a very special guest. His name is Anax. Do you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Anax, or Anax of Rhodes. I completed an abridged series for Neon Genesis Evangelion called Abridged, and I also did a one-shot parody of Ninja Scroll called Ninja Abridged. And, yeah.
Okay, so as some of you probably know, he actually voiced George Joestar in the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Abridge I did not too long ago. You actually did that. Here's a very...
Guilty as charged.
What?
Guilty as charged.
Yes, exactly. Okay, a quick question for you. How long have you actually been abridging?
Shoot. Early 2013, late 2012. I started very late in college.
Okay, so that's like 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually a long time. I actually haven't even completed 1 year of abridging. I will complete that this September, I believe.
There you go.
So you've definitely been going on it for a lot longer, which means I'd say you have a lot more, not just experience, but like you've made more abridges, but you also have seen more and you know a lot more about abridging than me. So
yeah, I've been watching abridged series since 2009.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. So
I'm an old son of a gun.
All right. So a quick question then: what got you into abridging? Because I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but the first abridge I ever saw was an abridge by One Kids Entertainment, but the first abridge I ever saw that got me into abridging was Team 4-Star's Dragon Ball Z abridge. What was your first abridge that made you say like, "Hey, I should make my own abridge"?
The first abridged series I ever watched was Little Karibo's Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged.
I
still find it that like top quality entertainment. I'm glad he's still making stuff because he's so consistent.
I've been watching it lately. It is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I thought about making one after I started watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, but I was like, I don't have the resources or the humor for this. I came back a couple of years later, and all the pieces started to fall into place. I had a friend who had a recording, who was part of the radio station, so he had a recording studio. I just got a whole bunch of nobody classmates to get together and voice the rest of the character. And I was like, okay, let's just do this. So,
okay, so that's your first abridge. That was which was that?
Abridged.
Okay. And like you just mentioned, you loved Little Karibo, which is, that's completely understandable. It's absolutely hilarious to this day. Watch any episode. I was just watching some of it last night, actually. But how do you normally write your humor? Like, what is your highest inspiration?
I'll start watching something, and I'll, a joke will come to my head, like just like one joke, and I'll work off of that. I'll start taking bits and pieces like Lego blocks and just start putting them together in my head.
Oh wow, yeah.
For example, with Abridged, I just started with the scene in episode 21 where Kaji and Misato are sleeping together, and I decided to think like let's say they superglued themselves together, and then I made the superglue into a running gag that finally gets revealed at the very end what it is. So I put a reference to superglue in every episode, and it's like something people can look out for.
Yeah, exactly. Running gags that go episode to episode. Those are always something good that I'd say viewers generally like them because, there's always memes and stuff,
Yeah. My favorite part of writing a abridged series is coming up with the characters. I like to come up with characters that are I'll try to make them as original and unique as possible. Like I'll go after tropes and I'll use those as like my antonyms. Like anything that's stereotypical, I'll recognize it and then do the exact opposite and see how that fits. And then I throw all these characters together and just see how everything turns out. Okay. Usually it's pretty good.
Yeah. So definitely, you always want to try, like, if there's a character that has a general stereotype, it's fun to kind of throw a completely different personality on it.
Right. You got to make them deeper than just the voice. Like Asuka in Abridged sounds like this, but and that's silly and everything, and that gets people a quick laugh. But she's deeper than that. Like she's a raging Huffington Post commenting Democrat.
Yeah, exactly. So
the interactions she has with crazy libertarian Toji is makes things interesting. Her rambunctious attitude just unnerves everyone else.
Okay, so that's how you can kind of create your own characters. But a good question, and this is actually something a lot of people have, including me, and probably even you sometimes. What do you do when you get writer's block? It's one of the toughest things.
I don't come back to it. I don't come back to it for 8 months and then finish it.
8 months?
It took me 2 years to do Ninja Scridge. I was just lazy.
Continue.
I usually just power through it and I finish it and then I come back to it like a little later. It's usually a month to 5 months, and then I'll be because I'll know I have in the back of my head like this isn't very good. I should probably come back and watch it again and fix it. So then I'll come back and I'll watch it again and then I'll change some stuff, or I'll just go into the script and be like, you know what, I should probably change this, and then usually those are small changes. Sometimes they're very big changes and they change the whole course of the episode.
Because sometimes when you're writing a script, because I wouldn't call myself a big writer, but I write some stuff. Sometimes when you write a script, a joke at the time that kind of is pretty funny, you later come back and you kind of like, that's not too good, and sometimes you gotta hold on to your scripts and make sure they're actually funny later on.
Absolutely.
Because, like I said, sometimes something makes sense in the moment, but then later on, it's not so good.
Sometimes things make sense and make you laugh really, really hard, but then you show it to a friend or a neutral third party, and they're just deadpan. They just have a straight face the entire time. You're like, missed the mark on that one.
Exactly. Like I was showing one of my scripts to a friend one time, and he wasn't really laughing at all, so I was kind of like, I don't know about this script, so I kind of went back and edited it, and then when I showed it to him, he thought it was better, and then when I finally made it, a lot of people liked it.
There you go.
So
the best thing you can do is show your content, your scripts, your video editing to someone completely outside of bridging. If you can make them laugh, you're on the right track.
Exactly. I actually do have a friend for that. He's somewhat into abridging. He doesn't abridge himself. He does other content, but I generally show stuff to him and say, hey, is this funny? Is this good? And, he gives me a pretty good idea of how things are. So
there you go.
That's exactly what you're going to want to do. So, I know this is something where we're probably going to disagree, but what is your favorite abridger to follow? And by abridger, it can be abridging team or abridger group, or I guess those are kind of the same thing, but or
an individual.
Yes, exactly. So like individual being Little Karibo, a team being like Elite 3 with by One Kids Entertainment and such.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite abridger that you follow? Obviously, this is where we disagree, but mine would probably be Team 4-Star.
Team 4-Star is one of the reasons why I started to get into bridging, because I wanted to do something that they weren't being funny anymore, and I was like, I want to make something that's actually somewhat entertaining.
Well,
I have Team 4-Star to thank for my bridging career.
well, I mean,
in their own antagonistic way.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like some people don't like Team 4-Star because they feel like they focus too much on the story, not enough humor, and you can definitely see that if you watch it, because it tells the entire Dragon Ball Z story compressed, but then it adds on jokes. But,
But they're not comedians. They're entertainers.
Yeah,
they're there to provide entertainment.
I'd say that's a pretty fair statement, actually, that they're entertainers, not comedians. But, I mean, to be fair...
That's exactly what Kaiser Neko told me. That's why I say it.
Well, I think, all I can say is, to be fair, they're pretty entertaining to watch. So, even if you don't laugh your ass off, they're very entertaining to watch. But, yes?
What's mine? I'd probably say Purple Eyes.
Purple Eyes? What is the series he created? The name sounds so familiar.
Purple Eyes did Nun Piece and Code Geass Abridged. Or Code Geass, Code Ment.
Okay. I think I saw like a Flash animation parody once by him.
Because he just gives no darns. He just does whatever's hilarious, and oftentimes it is very hilarious. Unfortunately, he's like super busy the past couple of years, so he hasn't been able to produce any content.
Okay.
But
so,
he's not dead. He's just got too much of a life.
Oh, okay. Has he stated if he's coming back or something?
Not publicly.
Okay, but he's kind of hinting he's coming back.
I have no idea. I actually haven't seen his stuff for a while.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
well,
from what I know, he's just been very busy.
Okay. So It's actually definitely a good thing if you let your viewers, fans, whatever, just know that you will be busy, and sometimes you won't always be able to meet schedules and whatnot.
That's helpful, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like you're generally, if you lay out a schedule, you're going to want to keep it. But, it's always good to let your viewers know what's going on in your life. But I mean, obviously if you're too busy to even do that, that's just life, you know what I mean?
I feel like that's the most important part of any task, and especially abridging. A lot of people come up with content ideas, and then and series and stuff, they get through 1 or 2 episodes and they just drop it because they don't finish it. They're just like, oh yeah, I'll get to that like eventually someday, maybe. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, set yourself a deadline and just do it. With Abridged, I started in early 2013 and I finished the very tail end of December 2015, and because I set myself a goal. I was like, for 2015, I was like, I'm going to finish it by the end of the year. And I still had like 8 episodes to go with 1 month left. And I was like, all right, time to book it.
It's like
the quality deteriorated, but dagnabbit, I got it done.
Well, it's just like a lot of times many series just like, it's like the people that make them want to do it, but then they just get too busy. And after 1 episode, like you said, they just quit. And it's like they leave it uncompleted.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a shame. And there is a difference between that and making a one-shot. Huge difference. A one-shot is just, when you want to do just a quick scene or something you wanted to do. It's just one time only. Or I can in some cases get more, but it's supposed to be one time only, no more.
Right.
But versus sometimes when people just do, like, blank the abridged series, episode 1, and then there's never another episode.
What do you prefer doing? Episodic series or one-shots?
Generally I prefer episodic series, but the problem is sometimes I feel like right now I've already got enough series and I don't want to add more and more and more, and I know my viewers want particularly one. So I generally like doing episodic series, but on the side I think one-shots are perfectly fine. Which do you prefer?
Having done both, episodic are a lot easier and quicker to put out. Although one-shots are nice and contained, and you can explore new ideas that way. I feel like I don't know. I'm really torn. It's tough. It depends on the series you're doing too, because unless you have some sort of end game and it just continues on through infinity. I mean, the nice thing about Little Karibo's Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged is he's followed through. He's got like 70 something episodes. And even though he abridges multiple episodes per upload, like, he's got plenty more content to work with. Like, people just accept, like, this is an ongoing thing and he's going to continue running it. For me, it was very important. I wanted to finish Abridged completely, to really just finish it with End of Evangelion and get it done and out there.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a completionist finality thing. I guess in that case, I would say one-shots I like better. I have more scripts ready, scripts in the making for one-shots than I do episodic series. That said, I do like episodics.
Yeah.
So it's more like I like one and I like the other.
Yeah. It's definitely, because it's like, when you make a series and you complete it, or even just make an episode in it, it feels really good because you're like gonna complete it. But at the same time, one shots, they're just so much fun to make. You know what I mean? So, actually, an interesting topic, or rather question here, is what do you think of when people abridge movies?
It's a lot easier to get away with more content. Actually, I think it's harder to really develop characters.
It can be, but I guess it really relies that they see the series it's tied into.
Well, you might do independent movies too. Like I did Ninja Scroll. The only thing related to that is a TV series after the movie came out. So the film was supposed to be completely standalone. And it was fast paced as it was. So I got some criticism that my characters in Ninja Scroll were not very well developed. Part of that is because a large chunk of that is because Ninja Scroll is renowned for its superior fast pace. And then I abridged even further. I took an 1.5-hour movie and abridged it to under 20 minutes. So there really wasn't enough time to really develop more than a couple of characters like Kagero and Jubei. That was pretty much it.
Well, actually, the other day I was talking to a friend about potentially starting a new abridged series, and I was looking for suggestions because, I just wanted to hear what they said. And one said to me, she said I should do a abridged series of Rick and Morty. And I'm like, you can't do that because it's a satire comedy show. It needs to have story. Would you agree with that?
No, I think you can still make it funny. I think it's harder to do, but you can do it.
Well, it's just like Rick and Morty. I suppose it could be abridged, but I mean, it's just like I just can't see much potential in it because it's already focused on comedy versus something that isn't, like, for example, Dragon Ball Z or Pokemon, whatever, where it has a normal, serious story, and then when you make it comedy, it's something it's completely not, so that it's funny that way.
It's unexpected, and that's what makes it humorous.
Exactly, versus Rick and Morty, which is already, or any real show about comedy, I guess it could be Family Guy, Simpsons, whatever, any show that is about comedy, when you parody it, the most you're going to get is just, a different voice that's different. But, there's already laughs in the show. I just don't think it would work too well.
There's a different take you can twist on this. When you take a serious show and parody, you make everything silly. You make it crazy, you make it humorous and comedic. Mm-hmm. With a comedic show, with a comedy, you have to make everything serious. And that's what makes it funny.
Okay, I never thought about that.
Take Rick and Morty and turn it into an ultra serious, like, I don't know, revolutionaries taking down the capitalist regime, something like that.
I never actually thought about doing the exact opposite. That could actually work, but like I said, I've never tried.
Do it.
But
make it happen. I expect to see it in 2 months.
All right, 2 months. I'll take that challenge. I'll make Rick and Morty Abridged. Rick and Morty Abridged? Rick and Morty Seriousness? What do you want me to call it? I'll do it.
Very serious Rick and Morty. VSRM.
VSRM. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, so that's pretty much all I can think about when it comes to abridging.
Sure.
Because like I said with the movies, Team 4-Star has done many Dragon Ball Z abridged movies, and they don't have much character development in themselves. Like, I was just watching one of them the other day, and one of the main villains is just blatantly throw in just because they're assuming you watch the series, you know what I mean? Mm. Because, then if you watch the series, it all makes sense perfectly fine, but if you don't, then you'll probably be a bit confused.
Right.
Although, to be fair, not too long ago, I was watching one of their streams where they were live streaming one of the episodes, and I had a friend join me who has seen none of Dragon Ball Z, none of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and it was just some random episode while they were fighting Cell, and she actually enjoyed it somewhat. Hmm. So, I guess it depends how well or how much it throws you into a situation, and it's kind of like when they release real movies where they try and give you as much backstory and context as they possibly can. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this podcast, I'd say, unless you have anything else you want to quickly talk about or mention.
God bless the United States of America. Happy birthday, U.S.
Yes, it's actually coming out very close to the 4th of July. Very close this week. So, yes, I'm proud to be an American, and to all of my American viewers, happy 4th of July, and to all my non-American viewers, happy July. I do, in fact, have non-American viewers. I have seen my analytics. I know you're out there, but, I don't know you.
And for you...
So, anyways, yeah.
Go ahead. I don't have anything else. Go ahead.
Okay, so that's about it for this podcast. So, thank you so much, Anax, for joining me.
You bet. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it was good. I think we should probably look into having you on some other time, and definitely... we'll look for you in the comments section on, I think it's called Really Serious Rick and Morty.
Very serious Rick and Morty.
Oh, very serious. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this podcast. So if you like what you saw, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. This is DeWarioFreak signing off. Have a great day.
Bye.
The other person that joins me on the podcast does that too.